All right, so you are Vata predominant. Your prakruti is Vata predominant. So what that means is that your nature has a predominance of the air and ether elements. Vata Dosha is primarily composed of those two elements, air and ether. Ether is space and air is air, it is the wind. So people with a Vata predominant constitution or people with a Vata prakruti are very light in nature because they're made of mostly the space and air elements. So they tend to be light, they tend to have thin frames, they may be very short or very tall, they could be long, lanky. Those are the physical manifestations. Mentally, they are quick on their feet, they talk fast, walk fast, they like change. So they like to travel, they like to change their furniture around, they like to experience new things, they like to try new foods. Because Vata Dosha is the energy of movement. Vata Dosha is the functional biological principle of movement. So everything in the body that moves is governed by Vata Dosha. So that's inhalation, that's exhalation, that's circulation, that's eye movement, that's muscle movement, that's neuronal movement, right? So when I touch my hand, there's a neuron here that fires up into my brain, and then there's a neuron that fires back from my brain into my hand to touch things. So Vata Dosha is governing the nervous system, it's governing our thoughts, it's what moves our thoughts around. Vata Dosha is governing all things that move, everything in the digestive system that's moving, it's all governed by Vata Dosha. So Vata Dosha is the energy of movement. So naturally, Vata Prakriti people like to move. They like to do things, they like to act, they like to go places, they are spontaneous, they like to draw, they like to dance, they like to just do stuff, right? They're Vata, they're quick-minded. And so in balance, they're very subtle, so they're in tune with themselves. Meditation may come easy to them, you know, they may pop into a different state of mind very quickly because they can move between states easily. Now, out of balance, Vata Prakriti people tend towards anxiety, restlessness, stress, instability, becoming indecisive. They may lose weight. They may start to have difficulty falling asleep or difficulty staying asleep. They may get cold. Their hands may get cold. Their feet may get cold. And they may get discombobulated, right? Sometimes they get overrun with movement. There's too much movement going on, whether it's outside trying to do too many things or inside trying to fix too many problems or just having too many thoughts. That's what happens when Vata Dosha starts to go out of balance. And so the best practices you can do for Vata Prakruti is as follows. First, let's talk about what are the main things that cause Vata to go out of balance. So because Vata Dosha is the energy of movement, movement is the number one thing that causes Vata Dosha to go out of balance. Movement and like irregular habits. So eating lunch one day, not eating lunch another day, driving a lot, lots of travel, lots of talking, lots of exercise. Too much exercise aggravates Vata Dosha. Now also stagnation aggravates Vata Dosha as well because it is the energy of movement, so it does want to move, right? So it doesn't want to sit all day. If you sit all day, then the Vata Dosha kind of like accumulates in the body and it's like, hey, like I need to get out. And at the same time, so all things are a matter of balance. So there can be too little movement or there can be too much. A lot of excess exercise, vigorous, intense exercise, aggravates Vata Dosha. And so, the number one thing you can do to maintain your health and longevity, to bring about your internal balance, is stability. A stable routine is the most powerful, stabilizing, nourishing, beneficial thing you can do for Vata Prakruti people. It's very beneficial for them to have a morning routine, to have a breakfast, lunch, and dinner routine, to have an evening routine, to go to bed, to wake up at approximately the same time, because that keeps us in our physiological rhythm, right? That keeps us in our circadian rhythm, in our circadian state, and that's that movement that Vata is looking for. It wants to move at the right speed, at the right time. And so that's the best thing you can do for Vata Prakruti. Other things you can do are grounding, right? So Vata is the air and the space qualities. And so the fire qualities, heating, water qualities, and earth qualities, those are grounding, right? They help bring our Vata individuals back down to earth. And so getting nice and warm and grounded is very beneficial for Vata. So that could even be hot showers, that could be taking a bath, that could be a warm yoga class, that could be a nice walk out in the sun. All of these things are calming, grounding, stabilizing, and warming for Vata Dosha. And so you can take those same qualities and apply them to foods. The warming, heating, stabilizing, watery, earthy foods are naturally balancing for Vata Dosha. So think soups, stews, chilies, sweet potatoes, carrots, root vegetables, rice, quinoa, lentils, meats, chicken, eggs, beef. All of those things are great for stabilizing Vata Dosha.